Okay, good morning, everyone. This is the Delaware County Commissioners meeting. It's Monday, August 17th. Time is 9:01. Let's all open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, before we get started, just to make everybody aware, Sherry is here on the laptop here. She come in contact with somebody with COVID, so she's in quarantine right now. So just to let everybody know. So could you call the roll, Steve, please?
Ms. Reagan.
Present.
Mr. King.
Here.
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. Brook.
Here.
All right. We have, we'll go down to appointments. Larry Clendenin on the Fair Board. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion, we reappoint Larry Clendenin.
Reappoint.
Okay.
Second.
James made a motion, Sherry seconded. Roll call, please.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. And Larry's been on the Fair Board for quite some time and does a great job out there. So we appreciate his him being on that board. Approval of minutes, August 3rd, 2020.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan.
Abstain.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Thank you. Now we have a presentation, and it's a Census Committee, Julie Mason.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We have the Delaware County Census County Committee. I am here to share with you some information. 2020. All of you should have a folder.
And it's a Census Committee, Julie Mason.
My fault.
But I want to thank you for this opportunity, and I have come today to share with you that I need each and every person, especially in Delaware County, to be what we call trusted and shared messenger about the Census 2020. Currently, what is happening right now is the census will begin earlier, as expected, at the ending on the 30th of September versus the 30th of October. As you all know, the pandemic has come in and has affected the overall atmosphere of the whole community, but Census 2020 is going on. For those who do not know, if you look in your folder that I did give you, it's sharing with you where the money goes. It goes for educational programs. It goes for our community schools, everything in our community. So with your help and support, I need for everyone to take this whole situation with the Census 2020 very personal. And what I mean by that, making it personal, like I need for each and every one of you to go out and talk to your individuals in your businesses, in your homes, in your counties, various locations. If you can put it actually on your receipts and do your Census 2020, because money comes directly back to us, directly back to our county and to our city. For those who are financial, let me give you an example of what the loss could be for the Delaware County. For example, if 100 people do not get their information for the Census 2020, and we get approximately $2,700 per person for 10 years, that means that we lose approximately $2.7 million because 100 people did not fill out the census. For those who don't realize that affects our streets, affects our schools, our lunch program, it directly affects each and every person here in this community. Now, what I would like to do now is give you a little bit of statistics about what's actually happening in Delaware County. Now, in Delaware County, I have to say that Yorktown has right now, as far as their, what they call response, that means they went online or they called. Their percentage right now is at 78.5%. You go to Muncie, Indiana, which is the lowest, is 51.4% of return rate on responses. And what I mean by self-response, that means you actually go and you fill out the form, you call in, or you mail it in. So as you see, the numbers are low. It's going to directly affect each and every one of them. For example, the town of Eden has 58%, and this is as of yesterday when I did the research. Selma, their self-response rate is 64.8. Muncie, Indiana, again, I repeat, it has the lowest at 57.5%. All I want to say to you, each and every one of you, you have got to support the program because the money is vested for the next 10 years. It is federal dollars that supports everything that touches our lives, from the streets to whatever. I say to you, it only takes you 10 minutes that's going to affect us for the next 10 years. And I ask that each and every one of you to go out and talk to everyone about doing this census. It's very simple. Right now, we're in the phase of going to everyone's home. If you're not your house, basically they want you to leave a piece of paper for you to fill out, and you call in, or they give you a code. That's all you have to do. Also, another factor that we have going on right now in Muncie, Indiana, they have what they call the mobile questionnaire assistance, and basically they go to low areas where there's lots of population, people moving back and forth, where the statistics are very low, and they will have a computer there that will assist you. So right now, we did not decide this, but the census in Fort Wayne decided that they are now at, the name of the business is called Lake City, and they're there from 12 o'clock until 6 o'clock in the evening, Tuesday to Saturday, for those who want to do the census online. I repeat, we have lots of opportunity to do it. Also, if you have special cable TV, if you say into your cable remote, say Census 2020, you will see a lot of information about Census 2020. Because they're reaching out to everybody in all communities with all different languages, because it's very, very important. For those who do not know, we talk about desert, blue deserts, etc. The census is used to build hospitals, for business users, for statistics, one of the sources for statistics. So if we don't fill it out, we lose. We lose financially, and we lose in the future about various social programs coming into our community. Thank you. Question?
No.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mason, and it is very important that we talk to our family members, talk to your waitress if you're at a restaurant, talk to your cashier if you're in a gas station. Just try to talk to everyone, have them get those census filled out. So, thank you. All right, contracts and agreement for approval, safe and sanitized seasonal solutions.
It's a contract for sanitizing the various county offices. He's already started work, and everybody's pleased with the work. We just want to continue that. He's going to do it every 2 weeks. Get him with the 911 center, get him also with the highway department and EMS.
So we kind of decided to try to get this done with some of the issues we've had in the building lately. I have spoke with Charlie. Charlie says the guy's doing an outstanding job, and with the equipment and everything he has, it's something that we're not able to do, but this young man is doing a great job. So what's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
Second.
So we have a motion to approve the safe and sanitized seasonal solutions contract and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Thank you. Next is Mr. Craycraft Peterson Consulting Services Incorporated.
This is the company that was hired by the commissioners in the past that did the assets. It increased our return about $40,000 a year. What Mr. Dossett files for is just by having a current asset and keeping it current each year. So this is just for to complete the 2020 work to have it for next year.
It's the capital asset reporting service.
Yes.
Yep. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the Peterson Consulting contract and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Riggin,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Okay, next is the Baker Tilly agreement. John?
Yes, this is an agreement for Baker Tilly, our financial consultants, to look at various issues that, financial issues we have in the county, primarily on our edit. There also is a reporting requirement for the financing for the jail project. The DLGF has put out several different forecasts about edit income for all counties, and they've said that the edit income is going to be lower, lower for 2021. It may not recover even in 2022. It's important for the county to know where it stands on edit and its income for the financing of the jail as well as the other projects that are going on out there. I have taken a look at the edit under Gateway. At the end of 2019, the county had a positive balance in their edit fund of $2.5 million. That's unappropriated, not in the plan, stuff that you guys have been shepherding through and maintaining and keeping. In contrast to the city, that under the previous administration had a $250,000 negative balance in their edit fund. They'd overspent their edit finally by $250,000. So we're in a much better position, but it's important to keep current. DLGF hasn't given any kind of estimate yet on what the edit's going to be. They've just given forecasts. And so it's important that the county stay on top of that, and that's why Baker Tilly would be involved.
They're very quick to respond also. I mean, if you send them an email, they're getting back with you the same day.
Matt does an excellent job, yes.
He does, yes.
And John, I just also want the public to know, because it has been put out there that a possible raise in the lit tax out there because of the jail and also some operations over to city. Our projections on our edit, they're fine, correct?
Yes.
That we can still do our projects. We don't have to raise taxes for the new Justice Center. As of right now, everything is good.
Right, we're well on pace. We've kept a cushion in all of our edit plans. We keep a look at that all the time. That's why I said we have $2.5 million plus that's unappropriated, not part of the plan, not pledged to the plan, so we have plenty of room there. Even if, as DLGF said, there's anticipated 90% of your 2019 edit for 2021, that's a $400 and some odd thousand reduction. We still have plenty of room in our edit account that can do that. If there's an increase in the lit, we have nothing to do with that. That's all the city council.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to make sure that that's clear, because I know it's been rumored out in the public that about this tax. I just want people to understand that we're pretty well in good shape at the county, and I don't know about Commissioner Henry or Commissioner Riggin, but even back in 2014, I was against that tax, and I'm against raising the tax now also.
The county's been very good stewards of the money over the last several years, and we don't have any accounts in the negative. We haven't overspent anything. The Redevelopment Commission is on par, so the county is in good shape financially.
Okay, thanks, John.
Thank you.
John,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Reagan here. We might tell the folks that if the city raises, we have nothing to say and that just automatically raises us, correct?
That's right. It's completely within the city council's prerogative because they have about 58 or
50.
59% of the votes for the increase. So the county could vote against it, the commissioners and the council, but if the city council wants it, then it will come into being.
Thank you.
Okay, what's the pleasure on this Baker-Tilly agreement?
I make a motion to approve.
Second,
We have a motion to approve the agreement with Baker-Tilly and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Thank you. All right, next, ordinances. First reading, we have ordinance number 2020-012, creating a new fund for CARES Act Coronavirus Relief Fund. Jamie.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jamie Bain, Administrator of the Delaware County Health Department. This ordinance is to create that fund for some grant money that we're going to be receiving from the State Department of Health. They have not been, well, let me take that back. Up until some point this weekend, we had not received much information other than the fact that we were eligible for this money and we would be receiving it if we wanted it. The money is to fund COVID-19 testing in the community, whether it be done by the health department or a partner agency. So what we've done is we've sought to partner with Open Door Health Services for them to run a clinic to provide this testing. It would be, there's a set minimum requirements of operating at least 5 days a week, operating in the evenings, operating on a Saturday, being free of charge to the public. All of this is funded through the State Health Department grant. The State Health Department's going to provide all supplies, and they're going to provide the actual lab analysis as well. So for us, it's a kind of a win-win for the community to bring this testing in. Open Door's been a great asset to the community and stepping forward and not only agreeing to this, but wanting to take this on for the community. They're going to run the site out of their parking lot, I believe, and then they're going to try to run a mobile clinic certain Saturdays of the month, I think, to try to reach out into areas that may be underserved otherwise. So what we're looking for here, like I said, we don't have a whole lot of information. This past weekend I did receive an email. I haven't got a chance to go through all the attachments that give us a little more detail on how this will operate. That's the more nuts and bolts on the lab, like logistics of taking samples down to the state lab and things like that. But we're looking for the fund to be created so that once we get the okay from the state to put in our invoice for the grant money to come, we've got a place to put it. So if possible, I'd like to ask that that be moved forward and approved today.
You're asking that the commissioners suspend the rules to adopt the ordinance so you can qualify, get the money?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number 2020-012.
Second,
We have a motion to introduce and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Make a motion we suspend the rules on ordinance number 2020-012.
Second,
We have a motion to suspend the rules and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan,
yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
I'll make a motion we adopt ordinance number 2020-012.
Second,
We have a motion to approve and a second, or adopt. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Jamie, thanks for working on that. I know you spent some time on that.
No problem. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks for keeping us updated on everything also, Jamie. I
Yeah,
really
absolutely. You
appreciate
did a
that.
great job with that.
Appreciate it.
Ordinance number 2020-013, ordinance establishing Delaware County Sheriff's JAG grant.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Tony Johnson, Captain of Delaware County Sheriff's Office. I'm heading up the JAG grant that was formerly ran by Lieutenant Ellison before he retired. This is to maintain that JAG grant from the federal government. It comes from the Department of Justice, and it assists the department with any overtime needs that it might incur through the year. be it through extra patrols or special events.
I'll make a motion, we approve ordinance number 2020-013.
Second.
Well, introduce.
We have a motion for introduction and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. We also need to get this done
Yep.
today.
Right, that was the second thing I was going to bring up. We need to, if we could waive the second reading on this so we could get it established. With the COVID-19, it got here extremely late. We've got less than a month, or a little over a month, to allocate these funds out.
So they are requesting us to suspend the rules
Yep.
for this.
And I'll make a motion, we suspend the rules on ordinance number 2020-013.
Second.
A motion to suspend the rules and a second. Steve, roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Thank you.
We need to
Oh, we got,
introduce
yeah, we got to adopt it.
or adopt it. yeah.
I make a motion, we adopt ordinance number 2020-013.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion for adoption to this ordinance and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. There you go. Okay, next is ordinance number 2020-014, an ordinance amending the composition of the Delaware County's Convention and Tourism Commission.
Yes, I was contacted by Victor Whitehead, and I know that you've received some emails about updating the ordinance for the Convention and Visitors Bureau. The state law has changed about the makeup and composition of that. The original ordinance was adopted in 1983 and had a 9-member board. There's nothing in the statute that says how many members can be on that, other than the mayor has to have the percentage of appointments to the board that are reflective of the percentage of population in the county, which is about 58%, more or less. So the 9-member board, he would have 5 appointments, or a majority of the board. The ordinance, or the statute also says that the commissioners then have the remaining appointments. Under the original ordinance in 1983, commissioners had 2 and the council had 2. I don't know if that was a requirement back in 1983 or not. I haven't been able to research that far back. So I followed the statute in giving you an ordinance that would have 5 for the mayor, 4 for the commissioners. All the board members would remain in place until their terms are up, and then the appointments would be made accordingly.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance 2020-014.
Second.
We have a motion to introduce this ordinance and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Thank you. All right, next, department heads or elected officials.
Good morning, Emily Anderson, Court Administrator. I spoke with Mr. King briefly about, some people approached me about the new facility and having food trucks come out there, so I've researched that a little bit and I was reporting back about that. So I spoke with Tamara over at the Board of Health, and she's sending me a list of food trucks that get the permits every year that we can call. But my only concern is that we make sure that the food trucks that come out there have a good response from the people at the facility. So I don't know who you want to coordinate this, but I thought we should maybe send out a survey to the people that will be in the building and see who would be interested in having food trucks. And then we would also need to have somebody in charge of the calendar and making sure that they schedule them out for the season. So I don't know if you have somebody in mind that you want to have to do that, or if you want me to take that project on.
I think Emily would be good at
I knew
doing it.
you'd say that.
Great idea.
Yeah, my vote's for Emily.
I knew you'd say that. So I also checked with city, and they said that they have to have a license as well, but that they don't enforce it, whatever that means.
Okay.
So as long as they have the mobile food permit is what we're looking for, which that's what can be provided. So do you care if I send out a survey, if I come up with some kind of survey and send to the
I'm
employees?
fine with it.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you want me to go ahead and get the calendar going
That'd be-
at the
that'd be
first of the
fine.
year?
Yep.
And then I'll make sure that calendar gets sent around to everyone, as well as reminders just so they have a good turnout. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Morning, Commissioners. Paul Singleton, 911 Director. I want to give you a public update. Our new telephone project has begun. They're overdoing some hardware work in the back room this week. Next week, they should install some new hardware on the dispatch floor. And then we'll have about, I think, 9 sessions of training for our people. They're expected to go live. They said the earliest we could go live with the new 911 system would be September 9th. But probably more likely is more towards the middle or end of September. So that's been about a 2-year project. Federal grant is reimbursing us 60% of that. And if I recall right, we got the majority of the funds in Indiana, partly because our system has some age on it. And then our consultant that we used helped us navigate the process, so.
Very good. Thanks for your work on that. Glad to see you back.
Thank you.
Any other department head or elected official?
John,
Yes.
on the one issue with the company that we hired, Meeks Cockrell,
Yes.
do we need to make a motion and approve to have them file an appeal in our
Yes.
behalf?
You received an email from Meeks about that particular case.
Mm-hmm.
And it was his recommendation that you research it and that an appeal be made. So you would need to take formal action to appeal that decision.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we have Meeks Cockrell file for the appeal on
And
that issue.
this is for the Dollar General that was going in down on 67 South.
300.
Yeah, yeah. So we have a
I'll
motion
Second.
to approve the appeal and a second. Steve, could you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Okay, is there any other department heads or elected officials? Mike Ashley, you have anything you want to talk about, or Catino? No, okay. Payment of claims, $1,480,303.79.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the claims and a second. Steve, could you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Ms. Honeycutt, did anyone sign up to speak? Nope. Okay. All right, John, is there anything on the emails that you've seen?
No, I've responded to a couple of them.
Okay.
So
Okay. All right, very good.
Make a motion recess.
We have a motion to recess
Second.
and a second. Steve, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. We're in recess.